Maybe that's what I'll do for Patreon. Padded Room Podcasting Hour is back again for another week of horror bullshit coming right to your face holes. My name is Darian. I have not given up yet, despite people telling me that I probably should and find a better way to spend my adulthood, but I refuse to give it up. Not a chance. Jason Harrell's in the house. He ain't giving it up.
Good evening.
I tried to get him to give it up earlier.
Yeah.
He said no. I need to ply him with more alcohol, I think is what's going on.
I said pry. As in pry me open, Daddy.
That's what it is. What's going on, big fella?
Nothing. How's things with you? Anything new, exciting, action-packed?
We finally got to test out the outdoor projector.
Yes.
We had a little drive-in movie night here at the Padded Room House.
And it was awesome.
It was pretty cool, man. I was into it. Watched The Lost Boys on the big screen. Audio could use a little work, but for what it is, I thought it came out all right.
Yeah. No, it was great.
Yeah. I just got to be a little careful because I don't want, like, my backyard opens up to a valley, and then just beyond the valley is a whole bunch of other people's backyards that opens up into the same valley.
This is sounding very sexual.
You like this?
Yeah.
You like where I'm going with this? Deep in the valley. So I guess I got to be careful what I put on out there because I don't want anybody to look up out of their bedroom window and see a bloody set of tits staring at them.
Well, just don't send your porn tube feed to the projector.
I got to be careful with that.
You should be okay.
Yeah, I got to be careful with that.
Your alldudeaction.wet account or whatever it is.
My bear and otter porn account or whatever you call it. Yeah. I like them big and rough.
Hot Squid Action Daily.
Tentacles.com. Yeah, it worked out pretty cool, though. It was a perfect night for it. We got to get... I think I need some more bug candles. There's a little bit of insects out there.
Sarah got bit up a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
I figure I'm okay as long as I've got her around.
Yeah.
So
maybe we'll just move Sarah into the backyard whenever we have movie night. Don't bite the shit out of her and leave everybody else
we'll
alone.
Be fine.
Sorry, Sarah. You're on your own, babe. Right on, man. I look forward to more drive-in movie nights in the backyard. I need more, like... We watch The Lost Boys. That's kind of family horror in a way. I need more... I'm thinking Turbo Kid would be a good one. I would love to maybe at some point put Return of the Living Dead out there. That'd be a good one. But that's full of bloody tits.
Again, I don't know... I don't know what the issue, other than people, knocking on your door and complaining that their kids are watching rated R movies. I don't really know if they've got any ground to stand on, since the drive-in theater is a massive, massive screen, viewable completely from the road.
That's true. Now that I think about it, I mean, you can't stop a drive-in from showing a rated R movie with nudity.
Yeah.
And really, if you're driving down the wrong street at the wrong time...
Shame on you.
You might just look up and see some tits. Maybe I need to drive around the drive-in more often.
Yeah.
Right on, dude. Well, we got a horror show to get into here, Jason. We got horror news, listener mail, all the usual stuff and things.
The whole shebang.
The whole setup. Let's start things off with a little horror news.
Horror news.
What do you got for us, big fella?
VHS 99 to be released 10/20 of 22.
I'm into it.
I'm very into it.
I'm back on the VHS train.
Yeah, 94 really brought me back.
I like 94. Viral sucked a bag of dicks.
Yes.
I did not care for Viral at all. Yeah.
By far. But 94 is the only one I actually own. I liked it that much. Went right out and got it.
Nice. Yeah. I'm hoping for I would buy a VHS box set if such a thing ever was available.
Oh, you bet.
I think probably if you put me on the spot and said, hey, what's your favorite VHS segment of all time? I'd probably go with the Harpy or whatever her problem was.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that's the one that immediately comes to mind. I love the funeral home one from 94.
Yeah, you really like that.
Everybody loved the Ratman one.
Yeah, Ratman's cool.
It was fine. I didn't think it was all that.
I thought it and the funeral home thing were equally good.
Zombie Birthday Party.
Was that the one?
Or Zombie GoPro is what it was.
Oh, the one in 94?
I think that
was in
first
Viral,
one,
wasn't it?
No, I think it was
I can't even remember.
I know. The only one I really remember from Viral is the skater kids and all the skeletons coming out of the Tijuana sewers.
Sure.
Maybe I just fantasized about that.
Yes,
I don't know.
I need to revisit the series, I guess.
Yeah, me too. That's really the only one that really sticks out is the Harpy chick. I like you.
She
came this close to getting
very
her on the
freaky.
show. She was. Weird, sexy. I'd still probably do her kind of a way.
You solicited her, huh?
I did. She like everybody. She's like, "Oh, I'd love to. Sure, we'll talk about it." And then she just stood me up, as is usually what happens.
I don't like you.
I don't like you. I Googled you. You're not that popular. What else you got, big guy?
Night of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead is getting a 4K release.
I'm into that.
Which I'm very excited about.
Me too.
Already pre-ordered.
Is it going to have the original soundtrack? We just discovered, Jason just discovered that a bunch of the original songs from Return of the Living Dead were taken out and replaced with the songs that we all
there's
love.
at least one, if not two, but I know one for sure that was yanked from like the original release. And I don't know if that was like an original VHS release or original DVD, but every time, it goes through different hands for manufacturing and licensing and all that, they have to renegotiate all the money that's attached to the music and stuff. And apparently it's just one of those songs that just has never, apparently they want way too much money from a band that I can't tell you who it is.
Probably all dead. At this point, I hate to say it, but it's probably true.
So for here's something you may find interesting. So the movie Mandy, I've yet to see it.
Okay.
So I don't get the reference, but it's still bitching. So there's if you go to witterentertainment.com,
okay,
they have a limited VHS release of Mandy.
Okay.
But this particular one is the coolest damn packaging I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So I'll show you a picture of it.
Okay.
It is in a goblin cheddar goblin case.
Very
and that's
nice.
the cover there.
Nice.
And that's the inside. It's bitching, huh?
It is.
But it's $45. And I'm like, you know what? I haven't even seen the movie. I really wanted that case. It was limited to like 100
I'm sure.
copies or something.
Uh-huh.
I had it in the cart twice today. And I'm like, I've never even seen this movie.
I got it on Blu-ray. I'll send you home with it.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
It's the cheddar goblin thing.
Yeah.
If like that is like it's like less than 8 seconds of the movie. But
really?
if you say cheddar goblin, everybody immediately knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage is coming out of his bathroom and he just happens to have a TV on. And for like a second and a half, you catch a glimpse of this ridiculous cheddar goblin commercial. It's like this goblin vomiting macaroni and cheese all over kids.
It's got it right there.
And that is
in the picture.
I'd be willing to bet that everybody has seen the Cheddar Goblin commercial, but nobody can tell you a fucking thing about the rest of the movie.
Well, for anybody wanting to see the picture, it's at Witter, WITTER, entertainment.com. I'm sure it's sold out, but they'll probably leave the image up there. The packaging on this thing is just beautiful. It is very beautiful for a VHS.
It looks like some kind of a kid's 80s kind of a thing. It does not look like a rape and revenge movie where a chick gets burned.
Is that what it's about?
Yeah.
I mean, that happens?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Who knew?
I don't know that they actually rape her, but they do set her on fire.
Yeah, I wouldn't have. I mean, based upon this, image of the Cheddar Goblin, I wouldn't have imagined that we had rape and stuff going on.
Yeah, of course not. So,
I mean, shit, I'm in now.
Well, yeah, there you have it.
That's all I got.
Alrighty. Are you like me, Jason?
Very much so.
Very much so. Are you a Rick and Morty fan?
Never seen it, so I guess not.
It has like this weird groundswell following of like 20s hipster guys just love themselves. It's a cartoon. Mm-hmm. It's on Adult Swim. Trailers are up for Little Demon, an animated horror series from the creators of Rick and Morty. It looks just like Rick and Morty, just a hair darker. And Rick and Morty gets pretty dark from time to time.
Is that the one that's kind of like Back to the Future?
A little bit, yeah. They keep going to like other dimensions and having to deal with a bunch of weird shit. It's all right. It's got some definite horror elements. This one's going to be full horror.
Nice.
So it's probably going to be pretty gory. Vinegar Syndrome has announced their August lineup. It's going to include The Birds 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
That's what it is. It's the one where the birds have to break dance to save the community center. And The Incredible Melting Man.
Never seen it.
Never seen either one of them. Melting Man sounds familiar, but I'm thinking of, what was that, Body Melt? You ever see that one?
No.
The Australian weird fitness cult thing. It's a whole thing.
Sounds great. The Birds 2, was that a made-for-TV movie?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think it might have been.
I can't say I've ever seen it. The monster cereals are coming back. Count Chocula, Boo Berry. This time they're actually going to release Fruit Brute.
Oh, boy.
Are you familiar with that?
No.
That was the werewolf that never actually hit the store shelves. It failed in certain test markets, so it never made the monster cereal.
Does he wear cut off jean shorts and a tank top, or
probably
maybe a bandana?
I'm sure some fun thing. I don't even know what that would taste like. Count Chocula, I get it's chocolate.
Yeah.
Boo Berry. Blueberries, I suppose. What's the other one? Frankenberry.
It's probably strawberries.
And then Fruit Brute. It's going to taste like fruit.
Or AIDS medication.
It could be that, too. Oh, yuck. Have you seen a movie called Good Night, Mommy?
No, sir.
It's interesting. It's very...
Oh, is that with the two kids and the mom in a bandage or something?
Bandaged up mommy.
I mean, I've fired that up probably 5 or 6 times. I've yet to watch it.
Very slow. Oftentimes leaves you wondering if this is a horror film or if this is just a
foreign, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. Which
brings me to my next point. American Remake is going to hit Amazon Prime in September.
All right.
So
maybe I'll finally watch it.
It's wacky. It's not my favorite movie. And it also looks like trailers are up for the Spirit Halloween movie.
That I did see.
You actually watched a trailer, you son of a bitch.
Well, I knew it. I suspected that I wasn't going to be ruining a lot of jump scares.
No.
It seemed like something that might have been kind of kid-oriented.
Of course.
Yeah, it definitely kind of had a Five Nights at Freddy's or the Banana Splits type of thing. Kind of had that vibe going on.
Yeah, so from what I gather, some kids decide they're going to sneak in and spend the night inside the Spirit Halloween store.
Yeah.
All the fun animatronic things come alive, and now you got a problem.
Right.
That's about it. I'm sure they will all survive and learn to accept their differences or whatever the hell the posturing is for this one. That's all I got on the horror news, amigo. You ready for some listener mail?
Hell yeah.
I don't know that you are, Jason.
No?
I don't know that you're ready.
Please.
We're going to do a workup, and then we'll check back with you.
Listener mail.
Yes, sir.
You're right, I wasn't ready, but now I'm ready.
Now I feel like you're ready to go. You've been aptly prepared. Let's start things off in Sydney, Australia, my friend. Here comes Tim from the Horror for Dummies crew.
Hey.
Subject line, my God, you're attractive.
Meow.
He's talking to you. I can tell right now. He's definitely talking to you. Hello there, fellow gentlemen, and possibly Monica, maybe. Terradome, this week I'm going to have to agree with you guys and take Predators over the Infected. I had a feeling that was how that was going to go. Darian, are you the dark and the wicked? Yes, I am. You got me there, Tim. Great review on Evil Dead. Even though I only rewatched it a few months ago, you've made me want to go back and revisit it again.
Good man.
Hope you guys are doing well, especially my sexy boyfriend, Jason.
Meow.
Oh, hey, you're making me jelly belly.
Oh, gross. Of all things, that was off-putting.
Alrighty, back to London, England. Here comes the horror slut. Subject line, no-brainer. Evening, gents. I do hope everyone has had a healthy week. Terradome is a no-brainer with the Predators winning. They do have all the tech. Educate, I believe you are the dark and the wicked. Fantastic movie, and I really love the atmosphere. I didn't get a chance to watch this week's movie, but I have it ready for when I have my next day off. Hope you all have a safe and healthy week. Cat! Right on, Cat.
Thanks, Cat.
This one is shaping up to be a blowout. I figured it would be.
I would hope so.
I mean, I could see how...
Stop it.
The Infected could win. They could easily overrun them. You know? Because Predators only come down in teams of 3, Jason, usually.
Yeah, but floating around up there cloaked, I'm sure, is like a whole ship full of those guys.
Yeah, quite well. I don't know. Depending on which movie you're watching. Or if they send that stupid, incredible Hulk Predator down. That's a whole other set of things right there.
That's the one I don't... Yeah, that's the last one, right? What is it, Predators?
The Predator.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen that one.
Don't even.
That's what I heard.
It's just going to piss you off.
That's what I heard. I actually steered clear of it.
Don't do it. If you want to see a Predator made into a Marvel movie, there you go. Let's get back here to Reno, Nevada. Here comes the cowboy. Oh, excuse me. Cowboy makes me a little gassy. Ugh. Subject line, stupid phone. Evening padded room. Hope everyone is doing well. Made it in tonight. Well, my phone was stupid last week. I decided to not send my email. I would have voted for the Elite Hunting Club. He would have had the swing vote. But his stupid phone.
Stupid phone. Damn technology.
Damn phone, stupid. Did get to take a few days off work and went camping at the lake. Had a good time, and my youngest even handled the kayaks by herself. Proud dad moment. Though my transmission went out in my pickup, so it's been a busy week. That's not a cheap fix. When the tranny goes out, bad times. Go ahead. I know you've got a tranny joke lined up for us.
What? Why me? Why look at me?
As soon as I said the tranny went out, I said, damn it, I just walked right into that. Here it comes. Educate, the dark and the wicked. I watched this late one night, and nothing adds to the atmosphere like a dog randomly huffing at your arm at just the right tense moment. Great movie, and I've been meaning to rewatch it. Terradome, easy pick tonight with the Predators. Tech usually wins, and an easy win this time. This is a blowout. Did have a bit time to catch a few movies, mostly trashy, bad acting gore flicks, but I did watch Bloody Hell and had a really good time with it. Fun movie and worth a watch. Back to the grind. Hope everyone has a great week. Catch you on the flip, Cowboy. Thanks for writing in, Cowboy.
Thank you.
See what else we got here. All the way from funky Alabama, here comes Alan.
Padded room, what's up? Hope everybody's doing good.
I'm all right.
So, Terradome, give me the Predators.
Yeah.
And something the other thing about the Predators, they can fight the infected, or they could look at the planet and go, you know what, this place is screwed.
Yeah.
Kill some of the infected, get back on their ship.
Yeah.
Off to space they go.
That's true.
Anyway, Mr. Darian, are you the dark and the wicked?
You are correct.
Hope everybody's doing good. Talk to you all later. Bye.
Beautiful. Thanks for calling in, Alan. Have you seen The Dark and the Wicked, Jason?
Yes.
What do you think?
Great movie.
Great movie, right?
Very good.
As far as like a serious, disturbing horror movie goes, that one's probably the best.
Very creepy.
The best I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Some of the imagery there, the sound design, blow your balls off, especially if you're watching it alone at night with apparently a dog huffing and puffing at your face. That'll freak you out too. Let's get down to Southern California. Here comes Mr. Tom Hardy.
Hey-yo.
Hey-yo.
Hey-yo, padded room. How's my favorite degenerates this
Fine.
week?
So far, so good.
I hope everyone is doing well. Jason Harold, appreciate the company that Gary's been getting. Been enjoying hearing you on the show.
Look at that.
Anyway, I wanted to get into it real quick. On the Terror Dome there.
What do you think?
We got the Predators and the Rage-infected thingamabobbers.
You got it.
How come nobody makes everybody seems to make the argument, oh, the Predators, they can only see in heat, and the Rage. Somebody's got to just make that fucking argument just this one time.
Okay.
Because fuck me, everybody seems to make it for everything else, but
They will.
I'm just gonna, whatever. Just give me the Predators.
Yeah, I figured that.
I don't think the Rage has got anything for them.
They run around naked.
They can just sit. They can just sit in a tree and take out a group of them fuckers.
Yeah.
Anyway, onto the educating department.
What do you think?
These are the ones that piss me off.
Okay.
Because I know I've seen this fucking flick. I know I've seen it. And I don't got it.
Come
I
on,
don't got
man.
it. And for some reason, the fucking sheep farm thing is throwing me off. And I think I'm focusing too much on the goddamn sheep farm. And
Well, I mean...
I think Darian might be doing this on purpose just to fuck with me, but... Anyway,
I thought
I don't have
layup.
anything.
Hey, I hear sheep, the blood nourishes for my
on the
brain, too.
I'm sorry, on the, what are you looking at? I got to catch Invisible Ghost,
Okay.
Bela Lugosi, black and white flick.
Uh-huh.
Not bad.
That's
I
not a
don't
bad
even know
one.
if I really got what was going on in that one. Not very entertaining, but Bella is human.
He was the butler.
That's where he's still doing his fucking Dracula routine.
That's all he does.
With his, like, arm up and, ooh. Fucking, whatever, man. Those are some different times, I guess.
You get away with that when you're
there was a
sexy.
couple of things that were said last week I just wanted to touch on real quick.
Sure.
The first one, I believe, was Jason Harold saying that he's watching fucking the new Halloween flick, and Jamie Lee Curtis is, like, 900 years old or whatever. I don't know about you, Mr. Harold, but she is always whatever age she was in fucking True Eyes. Whatever age that is, she's always that age in my mind. And I'm not even into, like, chicks with short hair like she is in that flick. But
Google Jamie Lee Curtis,
man,
born with oversized clit.
And one last thing, Mr. Brock, you got a new challenge of no sequels for a full year.
No rewatches.
I mean, I'm not trying to talk you out of it or anything like that. I'm just like, fuck, man. I don't even know if I could be a horror fan or if I would be a horror fan.
If that's
no sequels, but no rewatching.
No rewatching. That's what I'm saying. He got GP'd. So all I'm saying is that it will give me an opportunity. I am wickedly behind, like with all these newer horror movies.
I will say, you, of all people, have a lot of catch-up.
I do.
Like, I mean, some pretty commonplace shit.
Yeah.
That you haven't even watched.
I haven't seen...
because you are watching, I don't know, some random giallo shit.
Yeah!
For the 18th time.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's the best. It's the best. GP'd, he called back.
G motherfucking P.
G to the peasy.
Hell yeah. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, I don't even know, like, if I would be a horror fan without, like, rewatches. If you know what I mean, like,
sure.
That is so much a part of, like, horror fandom, for me personally.
Okay.
Is, it's always great, finding that, diamond in the rough and flick you've never heard of that turns out to be real good, or maybe the cheap, the cheap flick, the cheap production that, wow, that's really pretty good. But that's always great. And I agree with you. That's fun and all that, but fuck, I don't know, man. For me, that is, for my personal, I know I'm not being very articulate about this, but that is very much like a part of being a horror fan for me.
Yeah.
Just for me. Not saying that other people have to do this, but that's just a huge, I probably don't watch as many movies as you, for sure. But for me, that is, I probably rewatch, older flicks or flicks I've seen probably more per year.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm droning on, and I'm not being very clear, but
No, I got you.
That'd be a tough one. Anyway, hope all is well. Love you like family. Bye now.
Love you too, Tom Hardy.
Smoochy boochie.
So, the hard part, yes, is going to be not rewatching some of my favorite horror movies. I'm going to set aside the month of October, because everybody has their 31 for 31, and that's when you really got to knuckle down and get into the creepy mood or whatever. But I think the rest of the year, that was part of the reason I started this podcast to begin with, was to find those diamonds in the rough. And I know I got to put my waders on and my rubber gloves and my hazmat suit to get down there and really get into the fucking meat and potatoes of the horror sewage, which I am okay to do. Granted, I'm probably going to last about a month. And then I'm going to be like, oh, fuck this shit. I'm going to watch Starry Eyes.
Andy crawled through a mile of shit and came out clean on the other side.
That's going to be me.
But you're so quick to, recommend a movie to people.
Yeah.
Me. Like, copious amounts of movies.
Sure.
And I really try to watch... and I don't know why. I really try to watch most of the things you recommend to me.
Okay.
It took me 2 fucking years to get you to watch The Hunt.
That's true. That's true.
And there's more than just The Hunt that I've said was good, and you have not even went near it.
That's true. No, that's why I got to get caught up, man.
You're horribly behind.
I am horribly behind.
It would and it would even give you a chance to get caught. You're always rambling on about getting caught up on American Horror Story.
That's another thing. But I'm not going to do that though. Because if I start that again, I'm going to have to start at the beginning. Otherwise, I'm going to forget.
You don't need to.
I can't remember all these goddamn characters and subplots and who went where with who and why.
But they're different stories.
I know, but now in the later
don't
seasons,
get into the shit's intertwined.
They're all...
Oh, stop it.
All together.
You just need to watch it for what... First off, you don't even need to watch it. I was just saying that one because you're always talking about it.
It's true.
We bailed out of that show because... season after season, it just goes off the rails.
It does. That's part of why I love it.
It always starts out strong, and then it just jumps the shark.
I love it. That's what I love about it. It very quickly spirals out of control.
But getting back to the movies, you definitely need to play catch up.
I'm gonna. That's my plan.
Horribly behind.
Wickedly behind. I plan on doing that, and I'm gonna stay away from Tubi. I'll tell you right now.
Hey, Tubi's been strong for us over the last couple of weeks.
I don't know what the fuck Tubi you're watching.
Well, Sarah had never seen basically any of the Child's Plays except for one.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I think she said the other day, she's like, I don't even know if I've ever even seen this. She was in there just cracking up while she was working and stuff. She had Tubi just going through the Child's Play movies. Because I don't think I have any of those right now. I've got pre-order for 1 through 3.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But she had never seen. So Tubi was strong, man.
I don't know, dude.
There was another 1 or 2 movies that I searched for. There they were on Tubi.
I go down the Tubi road. I find this TV MA horseshit. It looks like it could have been a made-for-TV movie that is just completely boring.
Well, I think the
bland.
problem is that you're surfing Tubi and hoping for something decent. I search for the movie I'm looking for, and it just so happens to be on Tubi.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
It does.
I go into Tubi blind.
Right.
And then I get Tubi
I do not
right
do
in the
that.
butthole. And I'm done. I'm not going back to Tubi, goddammit.
Well, what I'll do is, when you decide to commit to this, I'll take the old database that I've showed you, and I will, filter it out by years and, I'll break it out. I'll generate you a nice exported report. I'll get some charts on there, man. Some bar graphs.
You are the most anal retentive guy I know. I don't think I need a picture point presentation on which movies.
I think you do, and I'm going to put one together.
You know what I think my real problem is, though?
Me?
Other than you, of course. I've lost track of these fucking movies.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm going to put together a little something.
Just literally an hour ago, our friend Jeff from the Guys in the Basement texted me. He's like, hey, have you seen this movie? And I'm like, no, I don't think so. It doesn't ring any bells.
Yeah, see, that's...
And then you
don't even know what you've seen.
And then I watched the trailer and I'm like, Yes, I have seen this fucking movie. Couldn't tell you anything
I
about
just
it.
go to the database, I look it up, I'm like, oh, I saw it on this date, this date, this date. I was with Darian, and we were here.
See, now, but given your short memory, you would think that you'd be better off forgetting that stuff. And then that way you could watch it again and be like,
It's like, whoa, it's
holy
a whole
fuck,
new
look
movie.
at this movie.
Seems great. Yeah, but think of the movies I get to avoid.
That's true. That's true. You flag your movies, too.
Yes.
Like, what was that? Phobias?
Phobias was fucking terrible. One half star.
I don't want you to go off on it again, but you flagged it, and now you know to specifically avoid phobias. Suppose I should be taking notes also. All right, goddammit. You got anything for Tim, Kat, Cowboy, Alan, or Tom Hardy?
My undying love and admiration.
Absolutely. Let's get into a movie here, Jason Harrell.
Let's do it.
Se murió mi papá.
¿Qué vamos a hacer?
Tienes que tomar el lugar de papá.
De ahora en adelante yo decidiré lo que va a ser la familia. Yo no te tengo miedo.
Deberías.
Pusiste en riesgo a la familia, Alfredo. Pues esto les va a pasar si se vuelven a acercar a mi familia.
We are what we are, Jason Harrell.
Yes, we are.
From 2010.
And you can't stop us.
You can't stop me from being what I are. This one is written and directed by Jorge Michel Grau. Got 5.7 stars on IMDb. It's from 2010. It is not rated. Stars Francisco Barriero, Paulina Gaitlin, and Alan Chavez. So, funny little bit of trivia about this movie.
Yeah.
Alan Chavez played the character of Julio. In the movie, he died. He was shot by police. In actuality, the actor, Alan Chavez, was shot to death by police.
Not to be confused with Alan Cha-Cha.
Him either. He's okay.
Okay.
I don't believe he's been shot by police. Alan Chavez, on the other hand, dead in the ground.
Well, that is a certainly fun fact.
It's not very fun. It's not. I wouldn't call it a fun fact. So this is the original version of We Are What We Are. The Americanization we all know and love. I think that was a Larry Fessenden thing. Starred Nick DiMichi, Michael Parks. Wyatt Russell was in that for a second.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was the cop that was trying to get on the older daughter.
Was one of the girls the
Chick
from Ozark?
Yes.
Okay.
Chick with that looks startlingly like my son for some goddamn reason. Right? A little bit. Anyway, so this is the original. It takes place in Mexico. I don't know what part of Mexico. I'm going to say possibly Mexico City. Not
the Upper West Side, I can tell you that.
Definitely not. We are down somewhere in the lower area. We've got, if you've seen the original or the Americanization, there's some similarities, but these are still two very different movies. We start off with an old man walking around seemingly drunk or possibly in some kind of a zombie-like state, walking around early in the morning, cruises through a shopping mall, gets all hot and bothered by some mannequins, collapses on the ground, starts coughing up blood, and dies. Was it just me, or was that cleaning crew just following him around, waiting for him to croak? Because he hit the ground, and like 13 seconds later, they were on him, pulling him out of there. And then the lady with the cart pulled up with the disinfectant.
You definitely don't see that happen in the area where they live.
Nope. Just leave him.
Yep.
He'll kind of get cleaned out at some point. So that starts the beginning of the movie. Now, if you're watching the American, this would be about the point where the mom dies. Now we're going to cut to this poor old guy's family. He, man. So this is inner city Mexico somewhere in a metropolitan area. The family consists
Mextropolis.
Mextropolis?
Yes.
So the family is very downtrodden, impoverished. They've been making ends meet by running a watch repair shop out of a weird kind of farmer's market, bazaar, kind of a fucking street market.
Yeah, it seems like you pay monthly to set up a table and basically peddle your wares.
Yeah, and it's not really paying the bills.
No.
Really. And the real problem that we're about to find out, Jason Harrell, is that Dad was addicted to prostitutes.
That son of a gun.
I mean, if you're making ends meet, you can't be paying, Betty down the road to blow you in the corner or whatever. I don't know, man. You probably should think about these kids you got. So now we're going to meet the family as they get the news. We have Mom, who is a bit of a snatch.
She is quite the cunt.
I tell you. And then we have the elder son, Alfredo.
Who's a bit of a dick.
Alfredo was more of a pussy, I felt like.
Oh, actually, it was the other one that's the dick.
Julio was the dick.
Okay. The older one's the one kind of vying for power.
So, yeah, we got a weird situation here, but we'll get into that in a second. We have Julio, the slightly younger son, and then we have the daughter, Sabina. They get the news. Well, actually, Dad doesn't come home. They don't get the news yet. So Alfredo and Julio go to take over the business for the day until Dad pops up. They go to the local market where they set up their little watch repair situation, which really is like a couple of tackle boxes and a screwdriver.
Everybody's watch just chucked into a cigar box.
Pretty much. And then one guy shows up. He's like, "Hey, is my watch ready?" And they're like, which one of these is yours? And he's like, I don't know.
The most expensive one.
Yeah, totally. It's been 3 weeks. I want my watch. And then Julio starts laughing at him, and then just jumps on him and starts pummeling him. This causes a big ruckus there at the market. The lady that runs the market, she's not taking any shit from anybody.
No,
she rolls up with some muscle.
Deep.
And she's like, "You motherfuckers haven't paid me in 3 weeks.
Yep.
You're evicted.
Yep.
Get the fuck out of here and try something too, dick. My guys here will punch your face in." So that sucks for them. Then they go home. Then Sabina shows up with the news that Dad is dead. Apparently, Dad had a regular habit of going to the mall and staring at mannequins. And that's how they identified him as their father. They said that the guy that stares at mannequins died.
The tit lurker's dead.
I've been called a tit lurker from time to time. That is perfect. The tit lurker. That's my new comic book.
Tit lurker.
Anyway. You're stupid. That's going in the show notes. Anyway, so they're all bent out of shape. Mom just basically has a very violent mental breakdown. She starts smashing all the watch repair stuff. Sabina is crying. Alfredo and Julio were like, what the fuck? I don't know what I'm going to do now. I mean, that was our source of income. And Mom, by the way, just smashed all of our tools and watches. But more to the point, we're gonna start learning more about this family. They need a person because they have to complete a ritual within a couple of nights. So they got to find a person. We don't know exactly what they're up to just yet. I mean, we got a pretty good idea. We know if they're looking to abduct somebody, that's never a good sign, right? So they're like, well, Alfredo, you're the oldest son. You got to assume leadership. get a person, get them back here, and we got to do whatever we got to do with this ritual business. So now we set about basically hunting is what we're doing. And these two knuckleheads could fuck up a free lunch. They are not
These
pet
are
doctors.
the most inept, like, kidnappers.
Doofuses. I would call them doofuses. Is what I would call them. The first plan, well...
Like, everything they do is just done horribly.
It's dumb. It's pretty dumb. And, I mean, they got the right idea, but then for some reason they just decided not to do that. Anyway, there's a lot of family drama going on here. There's, like... Did you get an incest vibe?
Yeah, the asshole brother seemed like he wanted to put the moves on Sabina.
Exactly. And
I think she may have been down with it.
There's like
couldn't really tell.
There's like a weird scene where she's taking a bath and he just comes in and sits on the tub, and then she like,
jumps up and hugs him.
Yeah, from behind, which I don't. A behind hug doesn't seem appropriate for family. Even though my brother-in-law does it to my mother-in-law, and that's creepy as shit, man.
Well, a naked behind
hug that takes it to a whole
is
other
more
level.
Appropriate than a frontal hug
From naked or behind and naked. I don't know. Either way, I'm going to keep my clothes on.
Guess it depends on which one of them's naked at the time.
I'll give you a fist bump.
There you go.
And if you're taking a bath, I'll wait till you get out. That's the plan. It's pretty gnarly. There's weird stuff going on. I felt bad for Alfredo because he's got a lot of responsibility that he didn't fucking ask for, and now he's in charge of this family of screwheads.
Yeah, but he wants to be in charge.
He doesn't want to. I didn't feel like he wanted to. I felt like he knew Julio wasn't going to get the job done.
Yeah, but I think he while feeling obliged, I think that it may have been his opportunity to finally have some authority in the family, because he's always kind of felt hated by his mom. And...
Oh, yeah. There's some definite mommy issues there. Now, while that's going on, we're going to cut to the autopsy where, I don't want to sound racist, but if I was wondering what an autopsy table in Mexico City would look like, this did not disappoint. We've got our coroner wearing a wife beater and a bunch of gold chains with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. A weird old guy like lurking over his shoulder, like commenting on how much money they're going to get for the dead body and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That seems like a bad joke, but that's what they did.
Sure.
And since the writer and director is Mexican,
yeah,
and
it can't be racist if you're merely stating observations.
And he's Mexican, so he gets to say that stuff and show that stuff. So there's that. But while they're doing the autopsy, they went through Dad's clothes and found a fucking lady finger. A legit finger with like a Lee press-on nail on it that has been cut off of somebody, and Dad was carrying this finger around.
Nose picker.
Or butt scratcher. You never know. Those Lee press-on nails,
earwax remover.
There's actually a lot of uses. There's a lot of uses for a lady
Damn it,
finger.
we need an infomercial for this thing.
We're going to do it. That's how we get rich, Jason Earl. Anyway, they do the responsible thing and call the cops. And they're like, hey, man, got a dead body here. It's clearly not his finger, but he's carrying it around. So they hand over the lady finger to the cops. And we've got these two cops. I wouldn't say they're good cops.
No.
They do a lot of sitting in a car and waiting for things to happen. So they get the lady finger. They're like, "Hey, this is our opportunity. We're gonna make a big bust, and we're gonna make big money because we nabbed the
tit lurker,
the lady finger collector, the infamous collector of Lee press-on nails." So that's what they do. You're not allowed to say tit lurker for the rest of the show. You're stupid.
You just never know what comedy gold's going to hit.
God damn it. I am probably the only one that's going to laugh at that joke, but I will do it all night long.
Hey, I only need to entertain one person, and that's you, pal.
You nailed it. Anyway, So they're like, yeah, we're gonna make this bust, and we're gonna get to the bottom of this lady finger. So they start like driving around and like talking to different people. Hey, any of you prostitutes had a finger cut off? No? Okay, well, we'll get back to that.
Hey, you. They're pointing with it.
The worst part is when they're like, they've got it like in a glass vial, and it's like being preserved with some kind of fluid. And the other cops, the real cops, show up, and they're like, hey, what are you guys doing? They're like, nothing. And they're like, we saw that lady finger you were looking at. What are you doing with that thing? Nothing. They think they're going to make the headlines or something with solving the lady finger. While that's going on, we cut back to our knucklehead family. Mom has basically barricaded herself in the room, and the only time she comes out is to yell and scream at everybody for basically anything she can think of. Alfredo and Julio are on the hunt, and they are going to get the job done. So the first place they go is what I can only describe as a homeless kid encampment.
Yeah.
This is pretty rough, man.
Hey, let's go kidnap a kid in front of 500 other kids
who hate,
and then get our asses handed to us.
These guys, thank God. It's not often that I root for like the gang of roaming street vermin.
Yeah.
But this time I was on their side. So they're like, you know what? We'll just go grab one. Nobody will miss one of these kids. It'll be perfect. So they
what else nobody would miss? One of them taken in the night, in the dark, not in the middle of the day.
No, you don't just run up on them. Have these guys never seen a movie involving a hunter or
in their defense? I don't think they could afford a VCR
or a TV for that matter. All they had was like weird stacks of papers. Anyway, so it was like lunchtime, middle of the day. There's like 50 of these kids hanging around under a bridge. They just decide we're just going to run up on one, grab them, off we go. So they do just that and immediately get swarmed by 50 of these homeless kids and get the living snot beat out of them. They walk away empty-handed. Good. I'm glad for that. And I think Alfredo got bit by one of them or something. Because I remember Sabina having this long-winded conversation with him about, you got to be the leader of the family now. Mom's not going to do it. And she hasn't come out of her room. Well, Julio's a psycho. You're the only chance we have. Whatever this ritual or cult or black magic thing that they were involved in, I think like females weren't allowed to be the head of it.
Apparently.
Because if I was going to pick a leader at this point,
it'd be Sabina.
It'd be Sabina, easily. She's the only one that's got a head on her
shoulders.
Yeah,
it seemed like it needed to be more patriotic. Not patriotic.
Patriarchal.
Right? Yes.
But anyway, they're having this conversation, and Alfredo again is like, I don't want to fucking kill anybody. What am I going to do to kill somebody? I don't even want to do anything. And this is where we learn a little bit more about this ritual. They have to eat somebody. And this is where Mom comes down again, throws a big shit fit. Hey, you fucking assholes, you got to get somebody. If we don't complete the ritual, we're going to start shaking, she says, and then we're going to die.
So let me go ahead and deviate from this movie and kind of bridge it with the remake.
Okay.
The Americanization.
Sure.
So maybe I'm just confused. That wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility. But so the American version, they live solely off of cannibalism, correct?
I believe so.
Okay. But I do think it's part of like a religious practice.
Right.
I didn't know how to really take this for this original. Is cannibalism a routine thing? And this is, is this kind of thing that they're going through, this ritual? Is it part of their meal preparation on the reg? Like, is this something they just routinely do? And maybe that's why the dad is so addicted to hookers, because he's constantly having to bring new food home.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's, they're easy to find, so he'd bring them home, because I do believe that somebody had alluded to, like, Mom hates when Dad would bring them home.
Right.
Because they were, like, filthy.
Sure.
So I just, on one hand, I want to just assume that the cannibalism and the practice is kind of routine.
So you're thinking this quote-unquote ritual is like a weekly thing, maybe?
Or however often you need to,
how
chop up a body and get it prepped and all of that stuff.
How long can you live off of one emaciated prostitute.
And if the only thing that they can eat is humans, then maybe they mean that, we'll start getting the shakes because we're basically being starved out at this point.
Well, in the American version, if I recall correctly, the dad was getting the shakes real bad.
Yeah.
And Michael Park's character basically said that it was kind of like a thing. It was like an illness you get.
It's
from
symptomatic
eating.
of cannibalism.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it basically boiled down to like a weird mad cow disease kind of thing. Anyway, those are all valid questions, and I don't think we'll ever get the answers to them. So we just got to, because you don't see any of these guys eat anything.
No,
I don't think in the American version either.
Yeah, by the end of this movie, I was pretty damn confused.
Me too.
Because I don't really know what this practice is
or what the ritual is.
Right.
And I would have loved to have gotten more into that, but we'll get to that in a second. Anyway, strike one. Assholes, you failed to get a kid, and good on you for that. Cops are now looking around at the prostitutes, trying to figure out who's got a missing finger, which prostitutes have gone missing, things like that. These prostitutes, man, now I'm a sucker for Latinas. Everybody was shocked as hell when I married a white girl, because all my ex-girlfriends have all been Hispanic. These ones, little rough around the edges, and I'm pretty
Don't like your Mexican prostitutes with bigger dicks than
I
yours?
was just going to say, I'm pretty sure a couple of those were ex-NFL players or something. I don't know. They had some burly individuals there.
Sound like Clydesdales clopping around in those heels.
You want a party? Hey, fella, pull over here. Nasty. Anyway, that's what's going down. So at this point, Julio and Alfredo get hey, Dad had a thing for hookers. Why don't we just go get us a hooker? If one of them comes up missing, cops ain't going to do shit. Hey, let's do it. So they roll down the stroll. They get themselves a prostitute because they have no idea how this works.
Let's do it in front of everybody.
And let's just jump out and attack her like a couple of monkeys, which is basically what happens. They do that. They knock her out. The rest of the prostitutes have like this little gang thing going on, so they are quickly swarming in. They throw her in the back.
Hey, we've got to rescue Tina.
Let's get them. They quickly throw her in the back of the car and take off. Now, they only drive like 4 or 5 blocks away. Then they stop, get out, take Tina out of the back seat and throw her in the trunk. Okay.
Right in the middle of the road.
Fine. It's things are wild.
You're very poor at this job.
You're terrible. This is the worst cannibalism hunting I've ever seen in my life. Whatever. It's Mexico City. Things are wild, or Tijuana, or wherever we are. Cops aren't particularly looking for missing prostitutes. So they take her home. They strap her down to a table. She's still alive. She's just unconscious. Julio immediately goes into super rape mode. I don't think he knows how to have sex, though.
Hey, in his defense, she did say, while panicking, you both can rape me.
Sure. Well, if she says that, then it's technically no longer rape.
There's consent.
Hey, I'll bang you both. You let me out of here, we'll call it even.
Sure.
He's just like grabbing and pawing and sniffing.
Yeah, he's very heavy-handed.
Do you know? I mean,
he's never caressed a breast.
Obviously. We are out of like sensual massage mode and into I have a rock-hard boner.
It looked like he was kneading dough for a pizza.
He was trying way too hard. Dude, you got to slow your roll. Eventually, now this is the part that I don't understand completely, because Mom comes down, she is still pissed off at the world, sees the prostitute, she's like, you guys think you know something? Or you think you're going to just bring a prostitute home? And they're like, hey, you said bring somebody home, we got somebody here for you. Prostitute comes to, she's got her bra up around her neck, she's freaking out, yeah, go ahead and fuck me, just let me go. Mom comes down with a cane and just bashes the prostitute's face.
Yep.
Okay, fine. Why don't we go ahead and complete the ritual then?
Sure.
We have a person here. We can, I guess, eat them if that's what we're going to do.
Evidently, she really wanted it to be clean, clean meat, I guess.
Okay, what does that mean? Exactly, because later on, somebody else comes home and she doesn't want. She goes for what is arguably the dirtiest, probably character in this movie, in the cab driver.
The cabbie.
Looks like a filthy mess. We'll get to that in a second. Anyway, now we've got a dead prostitute on our hands. Apparently, we're not going to eat her or use her for whatever ritual we had in mind. So, Mom and Julio decide they're going to drop the dead prostitute off back on the stroll, and she is sending a gangland style message to the other prostitutes.
What is she, cartel now?
I guess she gets out and like, you want to?
This is what you
sons?
bitches get.
You want to fuck my sons? This is how you end up. And then all the girls are like, what? They get back in the car and drive off.
Very strange.
And then they open up, they have the dead prostitute in this weird sheet wrapped up thing. They're like, oh, look at that. It's Tina. She's dead. That crazy lady apparently bashed her face in, and that's who we have to blame for it. All right, well, they can't call the cops. Well, I guess prostitution is maybe illegal in Mexico City. I don't know. Anyway, back to our cops. They are still on the hunt for the missing rest of the lady, besides her finger. They roll up and start talking to the prostitutes, and they're like, hey, what do you know about this lady finger here? And they're like, well, we don't know anything about that, but this crazy broad just dropped off a dead friend of ours and threatened us all with, if we fuck her sons, we'll end up with that. So they're like, okay. And this part is really creepy because the prostitute gang wants revenge on Mom. I get that. In order to motivate the cop, they roll out like a 12-year-old prostitute.
Yeah.
And the cop is like, oh, that's just for wealthy politicians and businessmen. And they're like, no, you can have her too if you find out who did this.
I didn't get the point of it. So
that's what
it was to incentivize him?
That's what I gathered.
To do the basics of his job?
To do his fucking job.
He was already hunting.
Well, I think...
But maybe they saw that as a separate... Hey, quit focusing on your finger. Go find this crazy bitch.
Well, that, and I think it's find her, don't arrest her. Just let us know who she is and where she is. We'll take care of it.
Oh, okay.
We want revenge.
Yeah.
You can bang this 12-year-old if you do that. That was so creepy to me.
Very creepy.
Because then the cop is like caressing her hair. Oh,
Nailed it.
Yuck. That's what he did. Oh. It's nasty. While that's going on, we're going to cut back to Alfredo. Alfredo is back on the hunt. He has a big cathartic moment with his mom. Well, no, that comes later. But Alfredo is just kind of trolling the city, and he attaches himself to this one dude. Now, again, if you've got murder on your mind, and it doesn't particularly matter who, why would you pick a young athletic guy who is surrounded by 6 of his friends? We'll get more into that in a second. But Alfredo follows this dude around all night long. And at one point, they discover Alfredo as Alfredo is hopping out of a train, and they all kind of point and laugh at him. And I should mention also that Alfredo basically dresses like he's getting ready for his 3rd grade class picture.
Yeah.
He's got the sweater with the collar out. Clearly his mom is dressing him. Alfredo follows him, continues to follow him, despite the fact that they're all making fun of him, right to a gay bar. And that's where Alfredo walks in. The little guy that he's been following is like, hey, you can talk to me. Bought you a drink. And Alfredo's like, oh, okay. And then he just obliviously starts making out with Alfredo.
Yeah.
Alfredo gets gay panic attack and freaks out and runs right out of there. But he makes it to a train where a mysterious lady is singing and hands him a note from her doctor's son, like a random note to everybody on the train. Got one, and it says,
"You are alive.
You're alive." So Alfredo says,
"Wait,
oh shit!
This means I need to go drop ecstasy and have gay sex.
I am alive. Let's get my butthole explored." So he gets on a different train, goes back to the gay club, finds the little guy, who we'll now know as Gustavo, and just starts making out with him on the spot. Everything is beautiful here in this gay bar. Alfredo's like, I'm going to take you back to my place, big boy. So that's what they do. Now, while that's going on, Mom has hooked up with the filthiest cab driver in all of Mexico. And what's funny is the guy that plays the cab driver is actually like a prolific Mexican actor.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's done quite a bit of horror movies, too. He was in, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Knife Plus...
Manuel Gonzalez.
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
Okay, perfect. He was in We Are the Flesh. He was in Knife Plus Heart. A couple other Mexican horror movies. And probably some real movies, too. Anyway, she just bangs him in the back of her cab.
Now, why fuck him? Like, why not just say, hey, I'd like to fuck. You're driving me around already, cabbie. How about we go back to my place? We fuck there.
Why not do it in the cab?
Like, she could have avoided, unless she just wanted to get a thorough rogering.
Well, she got herself Roger, all right. I don't think that she wanted her kids knowing or even being, mildly curious about her possibly having sex with another dude, especially that guy.
She didn't have to fuck him. She could have just brought...
I think
the main focus was supposed to be on the ritual.
Yeah, but I think she wanted to get her bell rung.
Yeah, maybe.
At the same, or at least...
She's probably pretty pissed at everybody and the dad. Really needs to let off some steam.
Sure. Grab yourself a filthy cab driver.
Yeah. That's what I do.
Get it on me, too. I got to start driving
cabs. Where to?
I got to start driving cabs more often. Anyway, she gets banged in the back of the cab. Now, this whole thing converges back at their house because Mom has brought the filthy cabbie home. Alfredo has brought Gustavo, the little gay guy, home. And they all happen upon the house at the same time. Big blow up. Basically, Alfredo gets caught by Julio and Sabina making out with Gustavo. And he, all of a sudden grows a pair. He's like, I'm the head of the goddamn family now. And then out of nowhere, the filthy cab driver comes downstairs, and he's like, what? And they're like, who the fuck are you? And then Mom just jumps out of the hallway with a shovel and bangs the little guy in the head with the shovel, goes down.
I thought she hit the cabbie.
She did.
Oh, okay.
Cabbie was a little guy, too.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, kills him, bashes his head in. Pretty good little struggle there with the cabbie. Has to stab him in the mouth with some
kind of phallic thing.
Random dildo passed down from generation to generation. Kills him. That was pretty gnarly. And then we have this big blow up between Alfredo and Mom. And Gustavo's there. And at this point, I was rooting for Gustavo. He just thought he was getting himself lucky at the gay bar, and then he walks into a murder. And now they're talking about, we got to kill him and eat him. Oh, he's a gay guy. We can't.
And in keeping with them being the worst criminals on Earth, he just leaves.
Yeah, he's like, fuck this.
Oh, oops.
Well, in the midst of this cathartic moment between Alfredo and his mom, you never loved me. Why do you always hate me? You made me like this. You're worthless. I hate you. I know. That's what I just said. And then she slaps him 35 times. And they're like, get rid of that little gay guy. And then they turn around and realize Gustavo has bounced. So they go taking off, Julio and Alfredo, after Gustavo. They jump in the car and take off after him. While that's going on, Gustavo makes it to a food truck where he finds some other cops. And they're like, hey, these two fucking guys are trying to kill me. They're in a white car. They're trying to run me over. So the cops get on their radio, call out an APB to a white car, which, as the other creepy cops are talking to the 12-year-old prostitute, they're like, hey, that's the car, and then it just so happens to match the description of the car that the prostitutes gave them that dropped off their dead friend. So now we get this very Tarantino-esque kind of rundown of Mexico City at night, where the lazy cops are chasing the car. Gustavo's trying to get away. Julio and Alfredo are trying to chase him down. The other cops
are... It's a Mexican standoff.
But it's just bananas. It's like a Tarantino kind of a thing for a second here. So, make a long story short, Gustavo gets away. Good. I was rooting for him.
Yeah.
The lazy cops catch Julio and Alfredo in an alley, but the patrol cops roll up, and they don't recognize the lazy cops, so they pull their guns on them. And they're like, hey, put the gun down. He's like, hey, I'm a cop. But then he tries to reach for his gun, so the actual cops kill the lazy cop. The pervo cop follows them all the way to their house, where we get a police-style siege type of thing. Unfortunately, we were in the midst of our ritual. Mom and Sabina were prepping the dead cabbie, or whatever they were doing. Involved a lot of sheet plastic and
meat hooks.
Meat hooks, looking at blades.
Yeah.
Things like that. I would love to know what they had in mind. Obviously, they were going to eat him, but did they have to, I don't know, drink his heart blood or something first? I have no idea. Anyway, big standoff. Alfredo basically tries to run in front of the cop basically commit suicide by cop in order to hopefully give Sabina and Julio a chance to get away. Julio does the exact same thing, gets killed by the cops as they come in. They do manage to kill the lazy pervo cop in the weird shootout. And then in a weird move, as Alfredo is dying, he tries to eat or at least bite up Sabina really good. I don't know if that was some attempt to heal himself, or he was just that hungry all of a sudden. Or what I like to think is that he put a bunch of bites on her so that she could play the victim and hopefully get out of the whole shit.
That would make sense.
I like to think that. I don't know if it's true or not. But Sabina's all bit up and bloody. Cops storm the place. Alfredo's dead. Julio's dead. Cabby's dead. Gustavo got away. They take Sabina to a hospital. Cut to a day or two later, she escapes the hospital and just is now walking around downtown Mexico City.
Smiling at a dude and insinuating...
You look tasty.
Right.
Yeah. And that's pretty much the end of your movie.
Yes.
What did you think of this one, Jason Harrell?
Been several years since I've seen this one. I had a lot more fond memories of it than how it played out this time.
Okay.
It definitely fails in comparison to the American version. I think I'd probably lowered my total score for it.
Okay.
There's just a lot of unanswered questions with this one.
There is.
A lot.
And a lot of insinuations. This one I feel like is probably 75% this family falling apart, 25% cannibalism and murder.
Mm-hmm.
Americanization is probably closer to 50-50, I would say.
I'm actually gonna rewatch the American version because, again, I have really good memory of it. A memory of it being very good, and I want to see if it lives up to the memory.
Sure,
I think it's definitely going to outdo this one.
I agree.
I will say, as a side note, totally unrelated, but the chick that plays Sabina, a year prior, she was in a movie called Sin Nombre.
Okay,
and for anybody wanting a non-horror movie, that movie is superb.
Oh, okay.
It's she's trying to basically get over the border. It's a MS-13 gang type movie.
Oh, shit.
Really, really, really good.
Right on. Check that shit out. All right, inmates, that was We Are What We Are from 2010. Kicking off Buddy Month. He might actually make it in for the month at some point this month. Not counting on it, but he did pick all these movies.
He's here in spirit.
Totally. He's at work in spirit. Join us next week for The Loved Ones. I think he picked mostly foreign movies.
Yeah, it seems so.
Yeah, right on. All right, we're going to take us a little break, and we'll come back with some other stuff, huh?
Y no tener aquí a la arena. Cuello veo la barra, después de adelante con toda tu cadera. Y el fuego que quema por dentro y lento te convierte en piedra. Con la mano arriba, cintura sola, da media vuelta y sacude duro. No le quite ahora, que eso solo empieza. Mueve la cabeza y sacude duro. Basta que una locura, morena bella a mi lado. Mi lleva y caperato. Quiero ver ese futuro. va a quebrar, con duro vamos a danzar, con duro, hoy, 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 hoy. Seja moreno, loira, vem balançar, con duro, hoy, hoy, hoy. La mano arriba, cintura sola, la media vuelta, danza tu duro, no te canses ahora, que solo empieza, mueve la cabeza, danza tu duro, la mano arriba, cintura sola, la media vuelta, danza tu duro, no te canses ahora, que solo empieza, mueve la cabeza, danza tu duro, ey, ey.
Hey, inmates. If you like what you hear, head over to the Padded Room Facebook group and support us through the Patreon link with a small monthly donation. Check out the T-Villain link at paddedroom.podbean.com and grab some t-shirts. Thanks for listening and enjoy the rest of the show.
And we are back, Jason Harrell.
Yep.
If I was in the market to eat a person, now, and I had like my choice, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have any qualms about eating a prostitute.
Oh, I thought you were going to say tube steak smothered in underwear.
Well, of course. But, I mean, if it was attached to a prostitute, I'd be all right with that. Who cares? I'm going to eat you, you know?
Yeah.
I wonder if you can get an STD from eating someone.
Interesting.
Well, you probably, like a blood
Probably cook it out.
Well, yeah, there is that. I don't know if they cooked. They might have just raw dogged it.
Yeah?
Yeah, the family. I feel like the family in the American version.
I'm having visions of Rick the Dick from Bachelor Party.
Oh,
Is
no.
it Rick? Maybe Nick? I know it was a dick.
There was a dick.
Pretty sure it was the foot long.
I don't know, man. I would just... that's a good point. I feel like in the American version, they cooked the person because... that last scene, they were all eating that soup or whatever it was, which was probably a person. But in this one, we never actually got to see them eat, so they might have just beef tartared it or whatever. I don't know. Tartar.
I really do think the American version is fleshed out more. Pun completely intended.
Hey, now. Take it easy there, you. You ready to get into the Terradome?
Fuck yeah.
Let's do it.
No tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
I'm not gonna hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in. I'm gonna bash them right the fuck in. I'll kill you all. I'll drive you crazy. I'll kill you all. Worst dream come true.
6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face, with blackish eyes, the devil's eyes.
Welcome to the Terradome.
First, last week's winners, Jason. Team's competition, we had the Predators versus the Infected. Explosion after explosion rocked the city of Manchester. The Infected, confused and enraged, ran from street to street attempting to catch the perpetrators, only to be caught in collapsed buildings or victims of another explosion. With a vote of 12-0 and another blowout, the Predators advance over the Infected. No fights this week, my friend, because we have just closed out the preliminary rounds. But I will announce the upcoming matchups. Inferno Conference. We're going to have the Killer Clowns versus the Universal Monsters. The Umbrella Corporation versus the Cenobites. 30 Days of Night Vampires versus the Critters. The Blind Dead versus the Lost Boys. In the Asylum Conference, we're looking at the Brides of Dracula versus the Xenomorphs. Silent Hill Nurses versus the Werewolves, Mutant Cannibals versus the Sawyer Family, and a Cannibal Off.
Yeah, it is.
Who's going to eat who? And then we have the Return of the Living Dead Zombies versus the Predators. Those are your matchups to look forward to in the weeks to come. We'll resume the fights next week.
Nice.
Jason Harrell. I'm excited for that. In the meantime, inmates, if you want to get a hold of us and let us know what you think of the Terradome or who you think might win or go all the way, by all means, the mental health hotline is area code 775-387-0275, or you can get us on the regular old email at thepaddedroom2011@hotmail.com. Or if you take some kind of umbrage with us or something we said, by all means, get a hold of us. Let us know what your problem is. We will hear you out and then promptly make fun of you for everybody else's enjoyment. That's what we do here in the Padded Room. In the meantime, while you're thinking about that stuff, we are going to tell you what movies we got to watch this week in a little segment called What Are You Looking At?
What are you looking at?
How about The Old Dark House from 1932, Jason?
How about it?
Have you seen it?
Nope.
Classic. Boris Karloff. One of my favorite horror movies of all time. So,
Yeah?
Yeah, probably. It's not really a cabin in the woods. It's more of a dilapidated mansion in the hills during a thunderstorm. Probably one of, if not the very first, dark and stormy night movies. Very cool. One of my favorites. Bloody Hell from 2020.
Bloody hell!
Horror comedy.
Yep.
I rather enjoyed it. John Wick type dude, psychotic John Wick type dude, gets abducted by a murderous Finnish family.
Yep.
All kinds of fucking... You watched this one too, didn't you?
Yeah, they wanted to finish him off.
They did. And he had a lot of finishers. You're finished. One-liners lined up for him. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was fun.
The Toolbox Murders, from the original, not the remake, 1978. This is another horny movie. Horny horror movie.
Yeah?
A lot of chicks getting peeped on in the shower. A lot of chick masturbation.
Tit lurking?
A lot of tit lurking. And new and innovative ways to go about your tit lurking, like drilling holes and coming up through sink pipes and things like that.
Nice. I like innovation.
Me too, especially when it comes to tit lurking. The Lost Boys from 1987. We watched this drive-in movie style in my backyard. That was quite the experience. But what I would like to do is... If we do that again, well, I'm sure we will fairly soon. Let's put the kids to bed or put them like in another room or something, because that was like the big roadblock, is that some of the kids couldn't handle horror movies, so we had to I had a couple of ideas of movies that I wanted to watch, but we had to tone it down for the kids.
Right.
Lost Boys still a great movie.
You bet.
Seeing it drive-in style kind of makes it even cooler in a way. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Have you seen that one?
Oh, countless times.
Right?
Yep.
It's a great show.
Very fun.
It's fun watching a 114-pound Michael Cera beat the shit out of Captain America.
Yeah.
Chris Evans.
Yeah. And
a bunch of other cool dudes. And then finally I watched The Reef, Stalked, the new one. It's exactly what you'd expect from a killer shark movie. And... if you can get on the team that thinks that sharks are vindictive sluts, then this will fit that narrative for you perfectly. I don't think the science backs that up. I think sharks are just kind of things that eat stuff in the ocean.
Yeah.
I don't think they want revenge on you or anything like that. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. I don't know anything about sharks, but... this movie would have you believe...
clearly you haven't seen Jaws the Revenge.
Where the shark will follow you to an island paradise.
Remote destinations.
That's right. And that's all I'm looking at, Jay. What do you got?
Bloody Hell, as you said, good fun. Rewatched Cat's Eye. It's been a long, long time since I watched that.
That is probably... James Woods at his most James Woodsiness.
James Woodsiness.
Totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
Definitely. Yeah, fun movie all around.
It is.
Yeah, it's actually a good anthology.
I like it.
Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Sarah had never seen that one.
Okay.
So,
does it hold up?
Man, I used to really, really like that movie. This time it felt a little long.
Okay.
Like it seems to really drag in spots.
I get that.
But still pretty strong. Got a good ending. I really like the way it comes to a conclusion. Donald Pleasant's just screaming no 50,000 times. You can't beat that. The Reef Stalked.
What'd you think?
At first, I was like, that was decent. And then I kind of I actually spent way too much time dwelling upon this movie.
Okay.
It started out pretty strong.
Okay.
But then there's this one scene where, like, everything looks good, but then they have this, like, really aggressive, fast torpedo shark CGI bit.
Yes, I know exactly.
And it just yanked me completely out of it because up to that point, like, okay, shark. I mean,
right.
That's as scary as it needs to be, man.
Right.
It's a big fucking scary ass shark.
Right.
I don't need it to move like a torpedo. So that yanked me out. It felt it got a little kooky with the logic. By the end of it, I could only give it like a 4 out of 10.
The problem that I have, and I don't want to give too much away about this, is that they're doing their thing. They make it to, well, 2 of them make it to the first island. And then from there, they have to go to an even further island. The shark is waiting for them on the other side of the island, as if to say, "I know where you're going, and I've got you cornered because I'm not going to let you get there." All right, that's a bit much. Now, if there was like 4 sharks, or look at all these sharks, we're really fucked. Okay, now I'm back on your side. But this is one shark, and it knows where you're going.
I just remember Sarah at some point walking in and out of the living room saying, "Is that fucking movie still on?" It really did just keep kind of drag out.
Yeah.
It was shot well. I'll give it that.
Sure.
It didn't look cheap.
No.
So that's something, I guess.
Yeah.
The Lost Boys, as you mentioned, always great. The Gray Man. That's a new Ryan Gosling flick.
Yeah.
Watched that like the last night before my Netflix canceled.
Is that a horror movie?
No, it's action.
Okay, because I've seen trailers. It looked like it was kind of horror involved, horror adjacent.
Nah, very action.
Okay,
John Wicky type bullshit.
Makes sense.
Not bad. A little too long though.
Yeah.
And a movie called Butterfly Kisses, 2018, found footage flick. I gave it a 5 out of 10.
It sounds familiar.
And I will say it's definitely got its weaknesses, but I can't cite anything specifically, but it seemed to actually have some new and different things that separated it enough from like normal found footage flicks.
Give me a synopsis.
There is a box of videotapes found in this chick's parents' house.
Okay.
It all revolves around this entity known as like if you play the staring game with him, you see him at the end of this railroad tunnel.
Yes, okay, I have seen this.
My biggest problem with the whole movie is it's technically illogical. Because they say every time the camera turns off and then turns back on, that's essentially like blinking.
Right.
But that goes against how cameras work entirely.
Right.
Video cameras are constantly blinking. That's how they capture 30 frames per second.
Okay.
They blink 30 fucking times in 1 second.
All right.
So the technical, I mean, these are movie people making a movie about a video camera. They know the basics of the technology.
Yeah, you would think.
So as a nerd, that was really that really weighed on me heavily.
Was there a part, I may be getting this confused with another one. I remember the tunnel thing, and I remember the guy that pops up at the end of the tunnel. Was there a part where, like, the director went on a radio show and Eduardo Sanchez called him?
Eduardo Sanchez started giving him shit
because he's like, you're selling it a little
Yeah,
more
they brought in a lot of, like, actual, like, movie people and stuff like that. Like, a lot of people went by their actual names to give it more validity that it was a real thing.
But they all basically just shat on the guy.
Oh, they totally just ripped the guy to shreds, yeah.
Okay.
But it was a decent time. It was something I hadn't seen in a while. I love found footage flicks, so
Okay.
it was decent.
Very cool.
That's all I got.
All right. Let's do some immersion therapy then, my man.
Immersion therapy.
Did you get a chance to check out Valley of the Dead, Jason Harrell?
I did not.
Okay. Good on you, because this is a family action thing that just happens to have zombies in it. It's more of an Indiana Jones, comedic. It just happens to have World War II happens to have zombies in it.
It was it foreign?
Yes.
Okay.
Spanish.
So I think that's why I didn't see it. I only had Netflix for like 3 more days at that point.
Okay.
Coming up to the great cancellation, and I just could not get my mind wrapped around watching like another foreign horror movie.
It's like 2 hours long. Some of the action sequences were all right, but it was very swashbuckling.
Yeah.
A lot of swinging, you know, a lot of
sounds like a real hoot.
I mean, sure, if you're 11 years old and you speak Spanish, perhaps it's not a horror movie. It's action comedy, I would say.
Okay,
it just happens to have zombies in it and Nazis and a light dusting of Nazi zombies.
Okay,
but they're not nearly as cool as some of the other Nazi.
Sounds like Mexican Goonies with Nazi zombies.
Minus the kids. I'd call it more Mexican Indiana Jones
with
zombies. Yeah, and they try. I think a lot of the humor was lost in translation.
Yeah.
But that's fine. It's not that good. I say stay away from Valley of the Dead. Your immersion therapy for this week is going to be Allegoria from 2022. You can find this bad guy on Shudder. It just dropped a couple days ago. Now, couple things about this movie, Jason Harrell.
Yes.
Written and directed by a guy by the name of Spider One. Does that name ring any bells?
Is he like Power Man 5000?
That's the guy.
Holy shit, I can't believe I got a music reference.
You got a music reference,
now that's
buddy.
Rob Zombie's brother, ain't it?
Rob Zombie's little brother.
Okay. I'm very proud of myself at this moment.
I'm very proud of you. I didn't think I was going to get you. I thought you had you on that one. Well done, sir.
Thanks.
Yeah, Allegoria, 2022. Shudder stars nobody in particular. Scout Taylor Compton is in this.
Okay.
From what I gather, it's some kind of an anthology, but I couldn't quite make it out. Check that shit out, inmates. We'll do the same and compare notes next week.
Question for you.
Shoot.
Best anthology out there?
Oh, I'm not really an anthology guy.
Really? I like a good anthology. But that's the problem.
The problem is
you
that
seldom get a full anthology that's good.
You can't really get I don't feel like you can get an effective horror movie into 14 minutes. Now, that being said, if you put a gun to my head and said, what's the best anthology out there? I can't really say it's the best, but I had this weird thing as a kid where one movie scared the absolute piss out of me and I couldn't sleep for months afterward. And it was Creepshow 2.
Okay.
And it was specifically The Thing in the Lake.
Yeah.
I had nightmares about that goop all over my bedroom, and I couldn't get out of bed because it was going to get me and all kinds of shit. I don't know why. It's silly. Watching it now, it's ridiculous, but it terrified me.
Yeah.
That would probably be my go-to. VHS we talked about earlier. That was pretty good.
Ours has definitely become Trick or Treat.
I was going to say, if you'll give me Trick or Treat, I don't know if you call that an anthology, though, because it's kind of one congruent storyline all the way through.
Well, it has these multiple... No, I'm definitely not. Because you've got all of these different side stories
right.
with a very cohesive wraparound.
Right, but they all fit into one timeline.
Yeah, one timeline.
Yeah.
But they're completely different stories.
They are, but... I don't know. I guess you could. I guess it depends on what your definition of an anthology.
Well, we can't even agree on the definition of a franchise.
We cannot.
So.
We rarely agree on anything. Right on. That would
I
be
disagree with that, damn it.
Okay, so you would say Trick or Treat?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, I would stick with Creepshow 2. Yeah, Creepshow 2, VHS 1 is probably a good one to go to.
I have really fond memories from childhood. Saw it in theater, and it might be the wrong movie. Was The House That Dripped Blood an anthology?
Yes.
Is that the one with like the voodoo doll that gets thrown into the fireplace? Like the kid has a voodoo doll of like the parent, or maybe it's made of wax or something. Yeah, it's made of wax.
I think you're thinking of Creepshow. The wraparound.
I'm not sure.
Tom Atkins is
maybe it was.
Yeah. And that was, oddly enough, Joe Hill playing the kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be damned.
Stephen King's son.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just a wraparound, though. That wasn't like an actual
Do you remember
story.
the stories of
Creepshow?
The House That Dripped Blood?
Vaguely. That one was English.
Okay.
I do. I remember one of them involved a guy taking over a home for the blind, and he just siphoned money out of it and mistreated everybody, and the blind guys started dying off.
Man, I really have merged a couple of movies in my mind.
I may be off on this one, but they like set up this labyrinth for him, and they let his dog. They took the guy's dog, starved it, and then let it chase him through this labyrinth, and they had like razor blades.
Oh wow, boy!
Lining the
this
walls.
Is definitely not a movie I've seen.
Okay. I could be
sounds fucking awesome though.
It's something. It is definitely something. Maybe that was one of the. That might have been Vault of Horror. Now that I think about it, I remember The House That Dripped Blood was definitely English. It may have been a Hammer movie. Now that I think about it. Anyway, yeah.
Okay, well, I was just looking basically for a good anthology. Yeah.
All Hallows Eve isn't bad.
It's been years and years since I've seen Creepshow 2, so I'll revisit that. I've seen Creepshow 1 more frequently than Part 2.
And you don't remember the part with the voodoo doll?
I can, like I said, I can remember that's like seeing it in my mind, but I can't tell you that's from this movie or that movie.
Okay.
In my mind, it was from that other movie.
One of those movies.
Yeah, The House That Dripped Blood.
All right, perfect. All right, inmates. I think now it's time for us to educate Miss Monica, or me, wearing Miss Monica's underwear.
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
She doesn't wear underwear.
She doesn't wear underwear. Never mind.
Educating Miss Monica.
First, my clues from last week. Well, my dad has taken ill, unfortunately. My mom called me to let me know. I did the right thing. I called my sister, and we have arrived here at the family sheep farm to help tend things during his convalescence. I don't think he's getting any better. And to make matters worse, my mom just hung herself out in the sheep shed. Now some real weird shit's going to go down. I am, of course, The Dark and the Wicked, which is a great supernatural horror film that will legitimately frighten and disturb you, I feel. Who might I be this week, you ask? Well, I am a bit of a ne'er-do-well living in 80s seedy, grimy New York City. And I've got a real hang-up with ladies and life-size action figures and hair. Hair is a big thing. I might just catch a very well-known makeup artist trying to get lucky outside of a nightclub and shoot him in the face with a shotgun so that I can make off with his woman or his one-night stand. I don't think they were actually together. Who might I be? That's a layup, Tom Hardy, and I did that one just for you. Come on, man. I know you got me this time. Tune in next week and I will drop some knowledge on you, inmates. In the meantime, I think that's about going to do it for us. Join us next week for The Loved Ones here in Buddy Month. We do have a Patreon campaign running. For the low price of $5, you can get yourself a Padded Room mug, a Padded Room t-shirt, control of the month of November, and as much hardcore pornography as I can shove into a box and send to your house legally. Find the link to that at paddedroom.podbean.com, as well as any information, old shows, or anything at all you need to know about us or our friends over at Horror for Dummies. In the meantime, Jason, you got anything else on the week?
That's it for me. Thanks a lot for everybody.
Absolutely.
Tune in next time
for more tit lurking.
Stupidity, tit lurking.
For tit lurkers, Bunny in absentia, Monica in absentia, everybody else in absentia, weird anthologies, whether they be good or bad. You know what my problem is with anthology? My real problem is
what?
You can't find
what
one
it is
with where they're all good. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's always going to be good ones and bad ones, and I think that's my biggest turnoff when it comes to anthologies.
Yeah, and that's where I think Trick or Treat wins out. If you classify it as an anthology,
they are widely pretty good in Trick or Treat. I'll give you that. Guys that want to eat can't decide if they're gay or not, and then they want to try to eat somebody. The most lackadaisical cannibals I've ever seen. And the Padded Room Podcast, I'm afraid visiting hours are over.
Bye.
What is a cannibal's favorite restaurant? Five Guys.